Summer, 1942. Operation Barbarossa had stalled, but Hitler was not finished. He shifted his gaze south, toward the oil fields of the Caucasus. Standing in his way was a sprawling industrial metropolis stretching 20 miles along the Volga River. Stalingrad. For Hitler, taking the city bearing Stalin's name was a personal obsession. For Stalin, losing it was impossible. Order number 227 was issued. Ni shagu nazad, not one step back. General Friedrich Paulus, commander of the German Sixth Army, the conquerors of Paris, looked through his binoculars. He saw a city already bombed into a skeleton by the Luftwaffe. He thought victory would take weeks. He was walking into a meat grinder. By September, the battle lines were not drawn on maps, but on floor plans. The Germans called it Rattenkrieg, War of the Rats. The strategic doctrine of blitzkrieg, lightning war with tanks, died here in the rubble. Panzers couldn't maneuver in streets choked with debris. They became sitting ducks for Soviet anti-tank rifles hiding in basements. The fighting was savage and intimate. The Mamayev Kurgan, a strategic hill overlooking the city, changed hands 8 times in a single day. The railway station changed hands 14 times in 6 hours. General Vasily Chuikov, commander of the Soviet 62nd Army, developed a tactic called hugging the enemy. His men stayed within 50 yards of the Germans, rendering German air support useless. Bombing the Russians meant killing their own men. It was a war of snipers. Men like Vasily Zaitsev lay motionless for days in piles of brick, hunting officers. A split second, a crack of a Mosin Nagant rifle, and another German fell. Then the Russian winter arrived. The temperature plummeted to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Oil froze in engine blocks. Bread turned as hard as stone. While the Germans were freezing in their summer uniforms, the Soviets were preparing a masterstroke. November 19th, Operation Uranus. 1 million Soviet troops, supported by 900 tanks, smashed through the weak Romanian flanks north and south of the city. In just 4 days, the trap snapped shut. 300,000 men of the Sixth Army were encircled in the Cauldron, der Kessel. Hermann Göring promised to supply the army by air, but the Luftwaffe failed. Instead of the needed 700 tons of supplies a day, they barely dropped 100. The German soldiers began to starve. They ate their horses. Then, they boiled their leather belts for soup. Inside the ruins, discipline collapsed. The master race was reduced to hollow-eyed ghosts wrapped in rags. On January 31st, 1943, Field Marshal Paulus, promoted by Hitler just the day before in a silent suggestion to commit suicide, surrendered instead. 91,000 Germans marched into Soviet captivity. Only 5,000 would ever return to Germany a decade later. The Battle of Stalingrad was the bloodiest battle in human history, with nearly 2 million total casualties. It was the turning point. After Stalingrad, the Nazi war machine never won another major victory on the Eastern Front. The road to Berlin had opened.